Let's learn English with the news. Our article today is called Oceans Are Changing Colour and Climate Change May Be to Blame. Okay, so let's just start with the title. That phrase, to blame. If you blame someone or something, you are saying they are the cause of a problem. Okay, so I fell down the stairs and the cleaner was to blame because he left water on the top of the stairs. It could be like that. I don't have a cleaner, by the way. I'm not that fancy. Oceans are changing colour and climate change may be to blame. It's pretty interesting. So this article is from Channel News Asia just a couple of days ago. And this is how it starts. Over the past 20 years, huge swaths of the world's oceans have changed colour, displaying a subtle greening towards the tropics. Okay, I feel like we have a number of new or advanced words here, and our first one will be swaths, okay, or just swath in the singular. A swath is just a huge piece of land, usually, okay? Here it's the ocean, though. And you often see it with the word huge. These two words collocate. You almost always see them together. They don't have to go together, but they usually do go together. Okay, so huge swaths of land, huge pieces of land, or here, huge swaths of the world's oceans, huge pieces of the world's oceans, have changed color, displaying. Okay, display, you might think about your computer display, your phone display, your TV display is the screen, right? It's what we can see. So if something is displaying, it is showing you something. Okay, so here I am displaying some advanced vocabulary in this news article. Okay, so the world's oceans are displaying a subtle greening. Okay. Now, greening is not a word you usually see. It is a verb. It means something is turning green or more green. But it's incredibly rare to see this. But I think we can piece it together. We know the word green. We know ing is quite often a verb. So turning green is a good guess there. Subtle. If something is subtle, then it's not easily noticeable. Okay. So for me, I like subtle humor. Or when I watch a movie, I like the themes or the message to be subtle. I don't just want to be told the message. I want to try to figure it out myself. So here there is a subtle greening. It means the oceans are turning green, but only a little bit. You wouldn't notice it unless you were really looking for it. Okay. And then the tropics, we're talking about the hot countries, usually around the equator. You know, we're talking about beaches. Think of Hawaii. You could think of Thailand, maybe. These could be the tropics. Scientists said they had detected shifts in colors across more than half of the world's oceans, an expanse bigger than Earth's total land area. Okay, so scientists said they have detected. Okay, detect is a bit stronger than the word notice. It tells me that the scientists were looking for something. Maybe they used some tools or some instruments to help them find some information. And those tools detected something. And what they detected was shifts in the colors. Okay, a shift is a change. Okay, in this example, we're shifting maybe to the left, maybe to the right on the color spectrum, perhaps. So scientists said they had detected shifts in colors across more than half of the world's oceans, an expanse bigger than Earth's total land area. So an expanse is similar to a swath, just a very large area. Okay, so an area bigger than Earth's total land area. Okay, let's continue with this. We have a quote here. The reason we care about the color changes is because color changes mean ecosystem changes. That's BB Kale told AFP. Okay. So the reason we care about the color changes is because color changes mean ecosystem changes. So the ecosystem is like a living network of life, okay? It's how all the animals and the plants work together, how they're all connected. Now, if you know a lot about science or even a little bit of high school biology, you'll know that even one extinct animal can spell disaster for other animals like us, okay? So the ecosystem, just how everything, all of life is linked. So they're saying that the change in color in the ocean tells us that the ecosystem is changing, which could be concerning. Let's take a look. A deep blue would tell you that there is not much life, while if the water is greener, it is likely to have more activity, specifically from the photosynthesizing phytoplankton. Okay, those last two words are pretty big, aren't they? Okay, so deep blue is a shade of blue. It's usually darker. It might look like this. If you're not colorblind, then you'll appreciate this. If you are colorblind, I'll try to explain it. It's always hard to explain a color, of course. It's a dark blue, and you feel like there's not a lot of light going through it. Okay, so there's not much white in that blue. A deep blue would tell you there is not much life, while if the water is greener, it is likely to have more activity. Okay, activity is people, animals, plants, things doing something. Okay, that's all it is. So if the water is greener, more things are doing something in the water. But specifically here, we have photosynthesizing phytoplankton. You may have heard of photosynthesis in plants. That's how plants get energy from the sun. They take the sunlight in and turn it into energy. That's photosynthesis. And phytoplankton are another kind of plant, but extremely small plants. So phyto is the same as photo, it means light. And then plankton is this very, very, very small plant. Let's take a look at a picture. So as you can see, they're microscopic. We can't see them with our eyes, but we know they're there. Okay. So these photosynthesizing phytoplankton produce a significant amount of the oxygen we breathe, are a crucial part of the global carbon cycle, and are a foundational part of the ocean food web. A lot of big words again, guys. So they produce a significant amount, an important amount. When we're talking about numbers, we usually mean a large amount. Okay. In China, where I live, we could say that rice is a significant part of the diet. Okay, rice goes with almost every meal. It's such a big part of the diet. It's really important in the diet. Okay, so these photosynthesizing phytoplankton produce a significant amount of the oxygen we breathe. Okay, you may know this one. Breathe. Are a crucial part, again, important part of the global carbon cycle. Okay, we've got three words here that we often put together, but let's break them up. Global, you may know the word globe, just means the world, the earth, okay? The carbon cycle, okay? Cycle, circle, so how carbon goes around. Sometimes carbon is in the ground. Sometimes when we burn wood, the carbon is released and goes into the atmosphere, okay? If it's a gas, it could link with oxygen. It could become carbon dioxide, which I'm sure you know. So they're an important part of that, and they are a foundational part of the ocean food web. So the foundation means the bottom, the base. Everything relies on this, okay? Because they are so small, a lot of animals eat them, okay? And then a lot of animals eat those animals. A lot of animals eat those animals, and so on and so on. And that is the food web, okay? How animals eat each other and eat plants. You know, if you drew well, a web. If you drew a map, you know, you've got the shark eats the fish eats the smaller fish, and that fish eats the phytoplankton. Okay, that is the food web. Okay, so in the latest study, researchers looked at 7 hues of ocean color that are too subtle for humans to see and would look largely blue to the naked eye. Okay, in the latest study, this means the study most recently done. There hasn't been another one since then. Researchers looked at 7 hues. Okay, hues are like tints. Okay, so when we think of colors in everyday speech, you know, we have blue, red, purple, yellow, and so on. But we can go into blue and we can see, there's actually a lot of colors that we call blue. Okay, and these different colors are what we call hues or tints. Okay, so they are too subtle for humans to see. So remember, subtle means not easy to notice, and would look largely blue to the naked eye. This is a phrase, the naked eye. By naked, it's the same as with clothes. We're not wearing anything. Okay, so I have my naked eyes here. I put my glasses on. I'm not looking with the naked eye. But of course, with science, we mean things like microscopes, you know, binoculars. If you wear those, you are not using the naked eye. So they are saying the ocean with the naked eye just looks largely blue this whole time. The authors found that the real-world observations tallied closely with computer models of what would be expected with climate change. Okay, that's going to take some unpacking. Let's take a look. So the authors means the writers. Okay, you can be an author of a book, you can be an author of a scientific study, like in this example. Found the real-world observations. Observation comes from the word observe. That's O-B-S-E-R-V-E. Okay, to observe just means to look closely, watch how something changes or how something acts. So when they did that in the real world, it tallied closely with computer models. Okay, tallied closely just means that it matched what they thought. Okay, the real world observations and the computer models, they matched pretty closely. And the computer models are just, you know, we'll take our information, we'll put it into a computer, and we'll ask the computer, what do you think will happen? Right. So I'm making that more simple than it is, of course, but that's pretty much it. They have done it on a computer. How is climate change going to affect the oceans? The computer comes back with, it's going to change the colors. Okay. And they've seen that in real life, it's true. It did almost exactly do what the computer said would happen. Okay, next quote. I've been running simulations that have been telling me for years that these changes in ocean color are going to happen, said Stephanie Dutkiewicz. Sorry, Stephanie. So simulations are sort of copies of the real world. They want to imitate, they want to copy something real. Okay, so when I play a video game, I am actually playing with simulations, maybe of the real world. When you watch a movie, it's a simulation of something that might have happened. And here in a computer program or app, they are running another simulation. Okay, they're making a copy of real life and then finding out what will happen. That's pretty cool. And the verb for that is to run. Okay, running simulations. I run a program on my computer. Okay. So they've been telling Stephanie for years that these changes in ocean color were going to happen. To actually see it happening for real is not surprising, but frightening. And these changes are consistent with man-induced changes to our climate. So a couple of words perhaps. Frightening is a longer, more advanced way to say scary. Okay, Stephanie thinks it's scary that the ocean is changing. And these changes are consistent with man-induced changes to our climate. Okay, we're saying it matches, it's doing what we expect it to do. And man-induced, when we say man, quite often we mean human. English is changing a little bit with this. So not long ago, everybody said mankind to mean all people. Nowadays, people are saying humankind more. So it feels more inclusive. But it does still exist in the English language, and it will, probably a few more decades, and then it might change to human. But for now, we're left with this. So man-induced, so that means humans induced something. Induce means to start something happening, okay? And the thing that's happening is changes to our climate. Okay, so I think we had a lot of advanced vocabulary in there. Look at all these yellow words. So what I'm going to do is read through this. I'm not going to stop so that you can see it in a real context said by a real native in a real native way. I think that's important. And if you want to practice with this vocab, you can always watch the video again. Okay. Oceans are changing color, and climate change may be to blame. Over the past 20 years, huge swaths of the world's oceans have changed color, displaying a subtle greening towards the tropics. Scientists said that they had detected shifts in colors across more than half of the world's oceans, an expanse bigger than Earth's total land area. The reason we care about the color changes is because color changes mean ecosystem changes, B.B. Cale told AFP. A deep blue would tell you there is not much life, while if the water is greener, it is likely to have more activity, specifically from the photosynthesizing phytoplankton. These produce a significant amount of the oxygen we breathe, are a crucial part of the global carbon cycle, and are a foundational part of the ocean food web. In the latest study, researchers looked at 7 hues of ocean color that are too subtle for humans to see and would look largely blue to the naked eye. The authors found that the real-world observations tally closely with computer models of what would be expected with climate change. I've been running simulations that have been telling me for years that these changes in ocean color are going to happen, said Stephanie. To actually see it happening for real is not surprising, but frightening. And these changes are consistent with man-induced changes to our climate. Okay, so that's the news today, guys. I hope you learned a lot of vocabulary. Remember, you can always slow this video down on YouTube. Okay, if you look in the bottom right corner, there's a button for that. Maybe that'll help you if things are a little bit too quick. Other than that, have a nice week, and I'll see you next time.